Hey everybody, this is Brad Bruce and I'm here with
Jace Marsiglia.
and you're listening to the 5195 podcast.
Yum, yum, yum.
Ooh, wow,
Here we are again.
that was nice.
Num, 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 num,
I didn't expect that.
No?
No.
Well, I'm kind of hungry.
Oh, are you?
I am. And
Okay, well, until next time, everybody.
See you guys.
You said food. What food? Yeah, okay, let's go.
Food. Got food on the mind.
We got something else on the mind.
We do. Mine has to do with food.
Okay.
Last couple episodes have been about collecting. You ever collect anything weird? Like off the beaten path, weird?
Yeah.
Because I collect things that I'm like, nobody fucking collects this shit.
Yeah.
But then you go to like a con and there's people who will sell dead tarantulas and butterflies and all, I mean, preserved in like glass dome or
Yeah.
something. You know, there's a lot of weird shit you can collect that's not necessarily media. Mine's a lot more innocuous than insects and bugs and taxidermy. I'm curious, is there anything you first?
Yeah, there is, and I don't know if I'm proud of this or not.
Everybody has porn, Brad.
Okay.
Everybody.
Well, then,
even
okay.
if they say they don't, they fucking have
Okay,
one.
well, then I'm done. So what do you collect?
Oh, okay. Well, pornography.
No, okay,
I
well,
have a
until
red-
next time, everybody.
See you guys.
Yes, pens.
Pen, like ink pens?
Yes.
No shit.
And not like expensive and nice cases and, oh, this one's marble and this one's from Italy. No. Like from restaurants or hotels
Interesting.
or businesses.
So labeled,
Yes.
basically labeled.
Yes,
pens.
I have close to 1,000.
Jesus.
I know.
You're never for want of something to write with.
Well, no, I am, because I don't carry them around with me and I never have a pen on me. So yeah, no, I still need to ask for a pen when I need to sign something. But
Fair enough.
yeah, it's weird. I got like some just random pens
Really?
that I've collected over the years.
That's funny.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I even have like Universal Studios pens.
That's cool though.
It is cool.
You know, yeah, I get
It
that.
is cool. Our like Buca di Beppo Italian restaurant pen. The guy came, brought the bill, and had this really nice red ballpoint pen, and I was just like, oh. And I told the guy, I was like, well, look, the whole time I was waiting on you to come and retrieve this, I was wondering, how am I going to steal this? And he was like, just take it.
You know what, dude? I got a lot of tables.
Just take it. I don't need your
fuck
shit.
off already.
I don't need your shit and your stupid pens. Yeah, I don't know. For some reason, it's just pens. Like,
It's funny.
yeah, I just like them, and I got a bunch of them.
But you're right. That's what we're talking about here. That's something stupid.
Yeah,
Something
completely stupid.
arguably stupid because other people are like, pens?
Yeah.
Well, mine's pretty bad too.
Okay.
Because they're seasonal. They didn't used to be. I have been collecting the last maybe 5 years the General Mills monster cereals.
Okay.
The boxes.
Yeah.
I'll eat the cereal,
Right.
but I will keep the box.
Okay.
And I keep it for the artwork. Mm-hmm. I keep it for the nostalgia. Mm-hmm. I could probably keep it to put shit in. You know, it's decorative. But I collect the horror cereals. Count Chocula, Frankenberry, Boo Berry. Those are the three that are always released.
Yeah.
There were others, like for instance, the Fruit Brute, which was kind of I don't know if it was like a Fruit Loops. It was more of a fruity cereal than the others, but that was released in the 70s and discontinued for decades. And they brought it back a couple years ago as like an anniversary. Another one was the Yummy Mummy, which was kind of just another variation on the Fruit Brute, but released in 1987 when we were kids. It discontinued in 92. So a couple of them didn't have a long shelf life. Just Chocula, Frankenberry, and Boo Berry are like
The mainstays.
the Trinity. Although this year, 2023, they introduced Carmella Creeper, which was the caramel apple. First one out of the bunch that I was like, ugh.
Yeah.
It didn't taste good to me. It was gross.
Did it taste like caramel?
Kinda, but it's not what you want in a cereal.
No, that's what I mean. It's like, that's weird.
It was weird. I actually, when I bought it, Carmella Creeper, I'm looking at it, caramel apple flavored cereal. The first thing I thought of was like, maybe it'll be like Apple Jacks,
Okay.
you know, which is fine. And she's a new character. She's a new monster. First one in 30 years that they've created Yeah, didn't like it. It was gross.
I wonder if she'll be back next year.
I don't know, but I got the box.
Yeah.
I
Now-
still have the box.
Are the boxes different from year to year?
For the most part, yes.
Okay.
A few years ago, I believe they brought it back in 2013 or 14. They brought back the original Yummy Mummy and Fruit Brute. And what they did was they re-released them in the original artwork from their era.
Okay.
So Fruit Brute, it was the original 1974 drawing. Yummy Mummy was the original 1987 drawing. So what they did with Chocula, Frankenberry, and Booberry, they rolled the clock back on those and released those three in their original artwork. So if you got all 5 of those, they were with their classic artwork. Back in 2022, when they brought them back, they didn't bring back Yummy Mummy. Oh, maybe they did actually. But it was a more modern look. They matched the 2 discontinued ones with the artwork that we have now that looks kind of Hotel Transylvania, kind of, a little polished, a little more 3-dimensional. Yeah, they gave them all updates, and I have those too. It's stupid. I get funny looks whenever we're tipping out the last of the cereal, and I go, don't throw that away. Give me the fucking box. Give it here.
Yeah.
But I've also collected, I think I have a Captain Crunch horror cereal. They released, a Halloween version of Captain Crunch. I think there was a Halloween Lucky Charms. A couple years ago when Ghostbusters Afterlife came out, they re-released a Ghostbusters cereal. Kept that box.
Yeah.
It's weird. They take up space. There's really nowhere good to put them, so I kind of have them stacked in an area. But they're still a curio from a past time. And yeah, I can get them every year, at least the 3, when Halloween rolls around. But unless they do something cool with the artwork, I really don't. I just kept the ones from those special re-releases. I don't keep them every year. Obviously this year, because of Carmela Creeper, she's a new character, I got her. Yeah, if they don't change anything, I don't keep them. But yeah, it was kind of neat when they did that anniversary run. I just kept them all, and I'm sure that there's a plastic container or case I could slip them in to keep them durable. And
Right.
that's always been one of the ones I collect that people are like, cereal boxes?
Yeah.
For real? And I'm like, dude, it's Halloween. It's a Halloween design. I love that shit. They release them, I think, September 1st through Halloween.
Okay.
And then after Halloween, they just disappear again for a year.
It's weird. Then there's another parallel that you and I have. Mm-hmm. I have some of those.
Do you? Oh, I saw a couple in the loft.
Yeah, but they were a collaboration with that artist Cause.
Oh, yeah.
So he did like 4.
Were those the ones with the X's for eyes?
Yes.
I have those too. Because they were different.
Yeah.
Well,
I have about 9. And when I tell you which ones I have, some you're not going to be shocked. And some you probably will be shocked.
I don't know. We'll see.
So obviously I'll get the first one out of the way. You're going to be completely blown away.
Okay.
But I have the E.T. cereal box.
Oh, that's probably awesome, though.
Yeah. And then, of course, I have Mr. T.
Oh, I pity the fool who don't.
And I have the Smurfberry Crunch.
Oh, I remember Smurfberry. Okay.
Yeah. And, of course, I have the 89 Batman with the bank attached to the front. That one's still sealed, factory sealed.
Right.
Yeah.
I remember the bank.
But those are the ones that I have. And I know there's a bunch of them out there. There's a bunch of like 80s cereal,
It's crazy.
Like,
It's
do you know that there
crazy.
was a Indiana Jones cereal?
No.
Yeah.
No clue.
I knew there was an Indiana Jones cereal. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with me,
No, I did the same thing.
But I don't feel as bad now knowing that you keep cereal boxes too.
Yeah, you shouldn't. I mean, it was a Halloween thing.
Yeah. And I just did it because, I kind of like E.T.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
Yep.
Speaking of E.T. and collecting, now it goes back to media. And I definitely should put pictures of this up on our socials. But I have quite a few VHS.
Oh, yes.
And I had, before you came out, I got one of those old VHS cases.
Okay.
It had like 2 doors that opened up.
Yes.
And it was like 3 shelves, and you could just load it with VHS.
Yep. My parents have one of those too.
I have one of those with a E.T. poster like painted on the front.
Yep.
And inside, it's all E.T. VHS.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's just, why not?
It's super awesome.
I know it's not as cool as Jerry Maguire or Titanic, but it's still cool.
Yeah, no, and I love it. I I seen it this trip around.
Yeah.
It's just like, that's phenomenal.
Yeah, I'll put some pictures up of it online because I think it is cool.
should.
I painted the poster on the front, just like acrylic.
Seriously, it looks like you bought it that way.
It's cool. You know,
I like that.
But it's just more of me feeding my addiction.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yep.
Just new ways to get creative and waste my life, time, and money. So,
Yep. I had forgotten when you mentioned the Cause Chocula.
Yeah.
They had done a sweepstakes where if you threw your name in the hat, you would get limited edition little plastic
The figures.
Okay. And I won.
Get out of here.
I've got them. And the thing is, when they said you were going to get these limited edition figures,
Yeah.
I'm picturing something crazy.
Yeah.
No, basically what you get are these little things that they're like Candyland plastic. They're one color. It's just this chintzy plastic. And I was like, whatever, fine. So they're on the shelf.
Okay.
They're displayed. But I had forgotten in 2014, we were talking about the different designs. I'd forgotten in 2014 they hired comic book artists to redesign the monsters.
Okay.
So in 2014, Terry and Rachel Dodson, who had, among other things, had done the reboot of Wonder Woman, they did Chocula. Captain America artist Dave Johnson did Frankenberry. And then everyone knows Jim Lee. He did Boo Berry. And these were phenomenally cool comic book versions of our monsters.
That's rad.
And that was cool.
So you have those?
Yeah. I thought those were neat.
Yeah.
Just the fact that they were like, we're going to do something cool with this and just hire actual comic book artists to redesign.
Yeah.
Give them an update like the New 52 kind of thing. When you were talking about pens, it reminded me of something else that you collect.
Oh, no.
No, a lot of people probably do this. I haven't, but I thought this was fascinating. You collect a lot of true crime stuff.
I do.
That's dark.
It is.
There's some dark shit in your loft.
Yeah, no, there is. You know how that came about?
Yeah, how?
I sort of hit the ceiling of what I could get.
Okay.
How many figures could I fill my shelves with? How many toy play sets, the Bat Cave, whatever it may be. How many more things could I put in there? Like, I kind of got bored with collecting.
Sure.
How many Jasons or Michael Myers or Freddy's or, could I fill my loft with?
Yeah.
Of this stuff. I mean, because we got them from little tiny figures all the way to, I got 2 full-size Michael Myers in my loft. Like a full-size Harry the Headhunter from Beetlejuice.
Yep.
I have a full-size Charman from Beetlejuice.
Oh, that's wild.
It's just like, it got to the point to where I was like, I don't know what else to collect, but the itch was still there.
Okay.
I had made a stop into Hyena Gallery, and they had letters from people in prison.
Okay.
And he had a letter from John Wayne Gacy.
Wow.
And I was like, this is interesting. And the owner, Bill Schaefer, who's an amazing guy, was like, that's a good letter because he actually talks about his Pogo the Clown costume.
Really?
Yeah. And he's like, he got stickers, like Halloween stickers, and put them all over the letter when he wrote it to the guy. And I was like, well, what do you want for that? He quoted me the price, and I was like, okay, I'll take it.
Okay.
So I got it, and I read the letter, and it's funny. He's talking about, he goes something like, and I know those fucking cops are wearing my Pogo the Clown costume thinking it's funny, but it's going to be mine. I'll get that shit back.
Eek.
And I was like, wow, that was fucking crazy,
Very.
So I had it framed. It's really cool. It has the letterhead, and he signed it.
It's authentic.
Oh, no, it's definitely authentic.
Yeah.
And then I, got a couple other pieces. I have an original LAPD press release that they put in the cars when they were looking for the Night Stalker.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah. And I had a buddy who's a local sheriff here in town over for dinner one night, and I showed him, and he was just like, this is real.
This is crazy. Yeah.
He's like, this is real. Wow.
That's
how did you
wild.
get this? And, I'm like, hey, collector. And it's like, it goes down the chain of, hey, I heard this guy has this, and, put the call in and we'll figure it out. And we
Isn't
worked
that
on
crazy?
a price. And yeah.
Isn't that crazy how that works?
So I got one of those. I got a piece of one of Charles Manson's shirt that he wore in prison.
Oh, okay.
And it has like this little postcard that he wrote on, like with his Ottawa, the air, tree, water, and animals, his whole thing that he was all about.
Yeah.
And then this weird little saying from him. And
Was there a normal one?
a normal one, what?
Saying by Charles Manson?
Oh, no, not at all.
He's like, skibbity bop.
Yeah, something like that.
Yo, I'm a hobo.
I think one of my prized possessions is a nail file.
I was wondering when you were going to get to that one. When you talked about the pens, that's what reminded me of that.
Oh, okay.
The nail file.
Okay. I have a nail file from R. Bud Dwyer.
Those were one of his campaign
Yes,
things.
and they were from him, and he would go door to door and hand them to his constituents.
Yep, I believe the nail file was for the women. Was it?
Yep.
Was it a pen for the men?
Yep.
Do you have a pen?
I don't have a pen.
Okay.
But we are on the hunt for a pen.
I'm sure you are.
We are.
Sure you are.
You know, it was just a cool piece to obtain because, he's one of these people that's going to live on in infamy.
Unfortunately.
And, there is a story behind what happened.
Yes.
And, I would definitely love to get into that one day.
I'm down.
As an episode because it wasn't what everyone thought.
No, not at all. In fact, the story's buried.
Yes, it is.
A lot of people just know him as the guy who fucking shot himself on TV.
He was a crook. He took a bunch of money and he took the coward's way out.
Yep, and that's pretty much where they leave it.
Yeah.
And lot of dirty, underhanded politics involved in that man's death. And we could do a whole episode about
and
Buck
we
Dwyer.
will. We will for sure because there was more to his story and he was not a bad person and he was not a criminal.
Nope. In fact, he died because he just wouldn't play the game.
Yeah.
And that's pretty sad.
Yeah. So I got stuff like that. I have the original Lie album that Charles Manson recorded in prison.
Yes.
And it was taken off of the Life magazine cover.
Really?
And he just took off the F for lie because they all lied about him. I got that guy. And then I have a custom Marshall Applewhite figure.
Do you really?
That I was able to get.
How funny.
Yeah. So I have a nice little Heaven's Gate.
Complete with bug eyes.
Yeah. And I am working on a pretty cool Heaven's Gate art piece that I want to display at one of my spots that I put my stuff out at. But
sure.
Another thing I have, I don't know how I feel about it because it was disturbing when it happened, obviously, and it still remains disturbing. But I have a Robert Bardo letter. And he's the guy that shot Rebecca Schaefer in the 80s.
Really?
Yeah, he was a stalker, and he actually found her by hiring a private investigator, and this dude got her home address, and he came from Arizona or something and came out here and started stalking her.
Wow.
And went to her house several times.
Yeah.
Before finally, murdering her. But I have a letter and he's talking about her.
Oh, jeez.
And he's talking about where her grave's at. It's fucking bizarre shit. And then there's a weird drawing he did in there, so yeah, I don't display all of this stuff proudly as I do the other stuff.
I hear you.
But it was just it was interesting to start collecting these kind of things.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just it was a different rush.
Sure. And there's an eeriness to it.
There is an eeriness to it just because of what the history that's attached to these items.
Yes.
Because I do have some that's from the guy, like R. Bud Dwyer, Charles Manson shirt, and then letters, or the Richard Ramirez, wanted poster.
Yeah. Which even that seems much more innocuous than the things that came directly from somebody.
That one's actually framed and hung up.
Sure.
So because it's not as
it's
ominous as the other items I own.
It's sort of like framing a headline.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
It's in that regard. But it's like someone sees an R. Bud Dwyer nail file.
Yeah.
And they're like, what the fuck is this? It's that was in his hand.
Exactly.
At some point.
The sheriff that came over, he was like, that's probably the coolest and most disturbing thing I've ever seen in someone's home.
The nail file?
The nail file.
Wow.
He's like, that is crazy.
That is really something.
I mean, it's I don't know, it's cool, I guess, to a degree.
If you're a true crime buff, like we are, it's an interesting thing. It's fascinating.
Right.
I look at it like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
To me, it's no different than when we walk through the Museum of Death in Hollywood.
Exactly.
It's full with crazy stuff like that. We could do a whole episode about that.
And we will.
Yeah.
We are going to try to figure out a plan to go to the new Museum of Death.
And that's the one thing, too. I would love to have the proprietors on and have them talk about, just the history of putting something like that together because it's provocative.
Right.
And it's not something that your typical everyday tourist thinks is in good taste, much less would walk in. But man, I'm just so fascinated by that place. And I was...
It is. It's fucking awesome. I'm so glad we got to go together.
We did.
To the original one there in Hollywood.
Because it had since closed up.
Mm-hmm. When we do the Museum of Death episode, I have a great story.
Mm-hmm.
And I will give a teaser. And it involves the guy that was working the front counter.
Okay.
Running in with a half smile, half shocked look on his face saying, "Your dude's outside. He's not good. I gave him a water."
Oh my God. Talking to you?
Yes.
No shit.
And me and another buddy that were there just started laughing our asses off. And I'll tell the whole story because it's fucking funny. And this is a person who was normally very quiet and reserved. Mm-hmm. That we went outside and he was just like, "What the fuck is wrong with you two?"
No kidding. How funny.
It was awesome.
No, and the thing is, just to give people a little bit of insight, it is a museum that's dedicated to all sorts of death, graphic or otherwise, but mostly graphic.
Yes.
And you got to have a tough stomach and, a strong core to get through that, to say the least. But the Museum of Death does tally on a daily basis the number of people who faint and the number of people who vomit. And that should probably tell you more than anything else ever could.
Yep.
That's just, to me, that's funny. I won't lie. When we went, I was a little nervous. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm a face.
So was I.
I was a Faces of Death guy.
Yeah.
I'm like, but to confront these things that were on these killers or on these victims, photographs, crime scene, I mean, it's very, very, very provocative. You go in and you're going to have a reaction.
Yeah. I mean, there's a guillotined human head in there.
Yes. One of the things that stood out to me was the prison uniform of someone who died horribly in the electric chair. And you could see the burns and the flesh and the dried blood. And it's, whoever it was didn't go out easy.
No.
So it's a hell of a place. Not for the faint of heart or stomach.
Definitely not. So that'll be one for the future.
That's probably a really good one for the future.
We'll put something cool together for that.
But to round back, to double back, that's how I feel about the true crime stuff you've collected. I get that eerie charge when I look at it.
Yeah.
Like even the last time I was here, when I saw the Bud Dwyer, nail file, I was just like, holy fuck.
Yeah.
You got a Bud Dwyer nail file? And you were just like, yeah, I used to pass him out on his campaign. And I'm just like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Because it immediately brings to mind that horrible day in 87. It's just the fact that this at one point was in his pocket.
Yeah.
And he handed it off to someone.
Yep.
And now it's in your fucking loft.
It's pretty fucking
and
wild.
It's just this guy, I seen him go in one of the most horrible ways possible. It's really something.
Yeah.
It's really something. It carries a lot of weight.
Yeah.
How wild is that?
Yeah. So I don't have an extensive true crime collection.
No, but the things you do have, pretty fascinating.
Yeah, there's some cool pieces. That's for sure. And I do have my eye on a couple other things that I would like to acquire.
Sure.
So, yeah, because there was one from John Wayne Gacy, and it has his letterhead, and it says something like, even clowns can get away with murder, or clowns get away with murder.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wild, dude.
Because, I mean, it's funny. He was one of the fucking most delusional serial killers ever. Because he was like, I never did any of this. But then he always alluded to it. Yeah, super, super interesting. So, yeah, man, I mean, that's the, some of the weird shit I collect that's not media
or typical.
Yeah, like one thing I do collect.
These aren't exactly baseball cards.
Right. One thing I do collect, I was able to show you a couple days ago. And I do have more, and when next trip I'd like to bring out the rest and show you. But I keep all of the pamphlets and magazines from all of my decades and decades of visiting Universal Studios.
Oh yeah, you showed me a few of those. Those were pretty cool.
Yeah, so and that's like no monetary value from me. I don't care what it's worth because it's stuff I shared with my father.
Yeah.
So I mean, I have a bunch of that kind of stuff too. So yeah, I told my kids, I was like, I feel bad for you guys when I die. because there's so much. You better just hire someone and sell all this shit because
you're gonna have to have it appraised.
there's storages and boxes upon boxes. Like I think they're like 30-gallon totes, and I have probably 40 of them, and they're just full of collectibles.
Sitting on a gold mine in Quebec.
Yeah, so I mean, it was fun. Collecting's fun.
It is.
It's fun stuff.
But it's clearly not limited to any one thing.
No, it's not at all. That's what I got.
Yeah, pretty damn cool.
Yeah, it's fun stuff. So, well, I mean, it was a short one, but it was fun.
Yeah.
It was just something that came to us and was like
fascinating.
Yeah. Maybe people could, email in, send us pictures or, to our socials about stuff they got.
Just
stuff they collect.
Weird shit. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Everybody collects something. I mean, sometimes you look at someone weird when they say, oh, I collect stamps.
Yeah.
Oh, I collect coins, Yep.
It
doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter, man. Whatever floats your boat. And being Brad, Brad and I, we do tend to lean on the darker side, and there's a lot of creepy shit out there that we're like, oh yeah, I'd love to have that, just as home decor.
Yeah,
but we're not alone.
No, we're not.
Nope.
No, we're not.
If you enjoyed this episode, you should pop in 5195podcast@gmail.com. We're on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, all the things. So hit us up sometime and let us know. Do you collect anything weird? I've got people in my family who collect Coke bottles.
See?
Whatever. Cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Don't be embarrassed, man. We got some weird shit.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
All right, man. Well, it was a fun one.
Of course, as always.
And it was a pleasure this time.
Yes.
I know it's going to get sentimental, but to the audience, it's just a blink of an eye.
It is.
So, but for us, it's always a bittersweet moment when they come down to this time.
Yeah, gotta hop on that plane.
This will be our last episode together like this for a few months.
Yeah,
but
we were trying to wrap out the year, get through the holidays,
right,
and then get back to work.
We have some fun stuff banked.
Yes,
some cool episodes that have already been out, so you know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And more on the way.
Mm-hmm.
Well, safe travels, my friend. I will talk to you soon.
I appreciate it, buddy. Thanks for having me.
All right, man. Well, until next time.
See you guys.